So many pieces all back together now. What's your vision?
Hello guys, and welcome to another top 5 shortlist of wonder kids that are under the age of 21 and potential to be world class on the game. Now of course we're not sticking down the mainstream players, we're going to go with players that may or may not have been known last year but certainly come into the well known category this year on FM16. First up, of course, you all know who Zach Clough is. Last year he was decent, this year he has really stepped up in terms of playing ability on Football Manager. He's a striker, he can play behind the striker if needed. He's only played for Bolton, scoring 5 goals in 8 games. He likes to run with the ball through the centre, get into the opposition area and shoot with power. He's professional and likes to play on his right foot. Valued at 2.5 million at Bolton Wanderers. 20 years old, a striker and English. Earning £8,000 per week, contracted till 2019. His technical area of his game is pretty good. Dribbling at 14, finishing is excellent at 14, age 20. That could really take him on to big things in the future. With composure to go with that and pace of 13, composure being 14, he could really go far in the game, especially in the Premier League. First touch 13, free kick taking 13, passing 13, penalty taking 14 and technique 14. Really good in the technical department in the areas that needed for a striker. Physically, he's pretty decent. Stamina 14, pace 13, natural fitness 14, and 13 all for acceleration, agility, and balance, strength being 11. Mentally, he's good. Composure 14, as we mentioned. Concentration, which is good, 14. Anticipation 13. Flair 14. Off the ball 13. 14 for teamwork, vision, and 12 for work rate. He's a real donkey workhorse player. He's going to run for every ball, chase down the opposition at every possible attempt. My advice, play as an advanced forward. He will pressure the back line and the goalkeeper, look to capitalise on mistakes, and no doubt this guy, Zach Clough, the number 10 of Bolton, he will score goals. Big time player this year on Football Manager 2016. Next up, an entry from our admin Andy on Facebook. 16-year-old Maximiliano Romero, Argentinian, no caps, he's only 16-year-old, so we did not expect him. Valued at £500,000, he's on a youth contract at Velez. He's a hot prospect earning £25,000 per week. He hasn't played a first team game yet for Velez. He does play as a striker. He's resolute, right footed and a promising striker. Now for the age of 16 he looks top drawer. It's all about development for this one. Physically he's not the best. He's got pace of 12, natural fitness of 14, but the rest are average to say the least. Acceleration 9, stamina 10, strength 9, not very good at all. Mentally, 14 for anticipation, 16 for determination, flair is 13, off the ball 12, work rate is 15. Some decent ones there that could help him along the way develop even more. 13 for concentration and 14 for decision making, 11 for composure. That composure of 11 and concentration of 13 will go hand in hand with finishing of 13 for a striker. Really good, he is only 16, that will rocket up at any time. Crossing of 11, dribbling of 12, heading of 11, passing 14 and technique 12. Now this guy says to me, you want him, you sign him as soon as you can. I believe there's rules in Argentina that mean he can't come to your club in Europe until he's 18, I think. Then when you have him, these attributes are good for a builder. You can tutor him, you can train him, you can use him as a player from the bench, start him in cup games and make him available for the under-19s or under-21s. He has potential to become a big-time player. Maximiliano Romero from Velez reserve squad. The next up is the only 21-year-old player in all of our shortlist. It is an under-21 shortlist. He's the only one that lands bang on that. It's Derlis Gonzalez, formerly of Olympia, where he got 9 goals in 20 games. Then of Basel, 26 appearances, 3 goals, and recently he moved to Dinamo Kiev. He likes to place shots, unfortunately argue with officials, so he could be Balotelli-esque. Likes to log the keeper. Balanced personality, right-footed. He can play in various different positions. He can play right wing back if needed, right mid, left attacking mid, left attacking mid, attacking centre mid, but mainly, and in our shortlist of strikers, that's where he plays. He's 21 Paraguayan, 13 international caps at full level, 2 goals, 10 under 20 caps, no goals, 7.5 million value, only earning £14,000 per week. You're probably going to bump that up if you are going to buy him. A hot prospect, and he looks very, very good. Now, looking at his game, physically, he's decent. Pace of 13, stamina 13, natural fitness of 12, acceleration and agility of 15. His strength is pretty poor. That should be better than that. Mentally, He's got bravery and composure of 13, determination 14, flair 15, 13 off the ball, 12 for teamwork and vision, 15 for work rate. It's good to have a player with work rate. He's not going to let you down and he's going to give it his all. Dribbling 15, finishing of 15, that could be deadly for his goal count, really. 15 finishing, 13 composure, and pace 13 goes hand in hand. He will get you goals. His concentration is pretty poor though, as his decision making. That could hinder him slightly. First touch 13, long shots 11, passing of 12, penalty taken 14, and his technique of 14. A guy that's a striker, 21, he really should be ready now to play in most squads. He is versatile, can play across the attacking park, plays at Dynamo Kiev in Ukraine. A player that you should look to try and sign is Delis Gonzalez. Next up is a player former of Teleoptic and a player that has probably been in the shadows of Andrija Zivkovic at Partizan Belgrade is 33 number Ivan Saponjic. 15 games for the first team, 5 goals. He plays as a striker, it's the only position he plays. He's 17 years old, surprisingly no caps at international level for the youth. He's Serbian, contract to Partizan, £350,000 value, £250 per week. He's a first team player there, fairly determined, plays on his right foot and is a striker. Likes to play with his back to goal, attempts overhead kicks, which might not always be the best thing. Now, his strongest area of his game is mentally, definitely. He's got good anticipation and bravery, he's got good composure of 13, determination of 16, 13 flair, teamwork of 14 and work rate of 15. Physically, the best aspects of his game are agility and jumping reach at 13. His pace is 12. Technically, his finishing and first touch are as good. Heading is 14, 11 for passing, penalty taking is 12 and technique is 11. Now, this is a guy for me, you take him into your squad, you get him on the bench and you get him game time, whether it be last 20 minutes. Also have him playing for your reserves, not your under 19s, because he looks good enough to play at a slightly higher standard. For me, he could be really good. I think he could play probably as a target man maybe, but that's just my personal opinion. Because he does have a good first touch, he has good finishing, but he isn't the quickest of players in terms of getting off via acceleration and his pace. Stamina isn't the best. If you get that strength up, he could play as a target man for me. Looks a good player. The fourth out of the top 5 strikers that you should use that are possibly underrated on FM16 is Ivan Saponjic. The final player on our striker shortlist is the number 9 of Rubin Kazan, Ramil Shediev. Now, he used to play for Zenit, the second club. He played 36 games, getting 18 goals in total before moving to Rubin. He can play left, attacking mid, attacking right mid, behind the striker, but not very well. His striker is his main position. He's 19, he's Russian, he's got 2 caps for the Russia under 21 team, getting 1 goal, valued at £180,000 per week. And I've just noticed, guys, my bad, my mistake, he actually is on loan at Rubin from Zenit. He has not moved there on a permanent deal. £500 per week, hot prospect, ambitious striker, which is good, and he prefers to play on his right foot. Now, the main aspects of his game, he's got natural fitness of 13, 12 for acceleration, balance and jumping reach. His stamina is pretty poor, that is quite worrying actually. Mentally he's pretty good, 14 for aggression and 13 for anticipation and composure. Determination of 16, flair, leadership and off the ball is 13 and teamwork is 11. As for technical side of things, dribbling, finishing, first touch and heading are pretty good, as well as his technique, all 5 of those on 13 and long shots of 11. Looks a real handful, could be a good player with experience in a tough Russian league. He could go on to Europe elsewhere and be a real dominant force. So here we are, guys, 2.5 seasons ahead, and this is where the players are and what they're doing. Delis Gonzalez, still at Dynamo Kiev, now valued at £12.5 million on £21,000 per week. Zach Clough has moved on from Bolton to Fulham, £6.75 million value, £35,000 per week. Saponjic, big move to Schalke. He's still 20, £15 million value, £37,000 per week. Ramil Shediev has went back to Zenit from his loan at Rubin Kazan. He's now valued at £6.5 million, £17,000 per week. Maximiliano Romero, the young kid who started at Velez reserve squad, is now in the Benfica B squad, 18 years old, £2.8 million and on £5,500 per week. So that, guys, just about wraps up the striker shortlist, the top 5 we believe you should look at and sign and they could make a difference to your squad. Bear in mind, these are not ones that are regularly known. They're quite not unknown, but they're less known than some of the big name players such as the likes of Carlos up front, Fierro, the former Wonder Kid, etc. like that. Now, I hope you're enjoying these shortlists. I am as well. That's the Striker 1 wrapped up. I'll see you again soon. You're the managers, we're the managers. Take care.